Wow, I've had such an amazing evening with you all. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we from Be My Date. Don't forget to go to our Facebook page, Be My Date NTV. Send us your feedback, comments, and suggestions, or you can text us on 6565. I also want to say a big thank you to Royal Sits Bugolobi and My Wonderful Designer, Fashion Lounge by Kim Swagger. Thank you for the amazing job. My name is Anita Fabiola, and me and the crew wish you a good night.
Twelve beauties looking for love. 3 bachelors on the spotlight trying to be Mr. Right. It's not about your job, not about your house, not even about your bank balance. It's all about first impression. This is Be My Date.
NTV, turning on your world.
Program Guide
Is brought to you by
Jessa Smooth Yogurt. Program Guide. Jessa Smooth Yogurt comes in various flavors like vanilla, strawberry and banana. Jessa Farm Dairy. Always trusted, always delicious.
Must watch.
You shouldn't even be here.
God, you'd go crazy if you knew I was here.
The stakes become murder.
Just be one of the guys.
But when the game takes a turn,
The guy broke into my house, attacked us.
they weren't betting on.
You shouldn't even be here.
The stakes become murder.
We're all in this together. We're not gonna get caught.
Must watch.
Enjoy crystal clear digital pictures with StarTimes wherever you are in Uganda. Visit our outlets or edges to buy yourself a StarTimes digital decoder or StarSong. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Kampala's best, the fresh and reloaded 933 KFM. Better information and the best music.
933 KFM. Nice moves, Floydo.
Try it. Told ya.
Check out the new Fanta Orange, now with an even better taste.
Our contractors' all-risk policy covers your contract works, workers, equipment and machinery for every unforeseen loss or damage. Let's shield your projects. Insurance Company of East Africa, ICEA, standing by you.
NTV, turning on your world.
Good evening, this is NTV Weekend Edition. We'll get right into it with a look at the stories making headlines tonight. A 14-year-old is bedridden following a teacher's punishment that far outweighed her crime.
The Uganda prisons continues to grapple with challenges of congestion. But could this be the reason for the minimal escape of prisoners? Join me, Maurice Ochoa, as I bring you that story.
Uganda joined the rest of the world in marking the Olympic Day. Here the theme being Move, Discover and Learn. Join me, Alfred Odong, for the details of this story.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
Good evening once again. Welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. I am Rokshana Namuimba. The rising figures of new HIV/AIDS infections in Arua district could see the fight against it lose focus if the authorities take their time to react. In the last 12 months, the prevalence rate has risen from 2.3% to 4.9%, with leaders fearful that the struggle is on a drastic downward trend and take the district down as a hopeless path.
Arua district is part of the 8 districts that make up West Nile region, and due to its location where inter-border crossing is unlimited, leaders are concerned that if not much is done, then the fight against HIV and AIDS in the district could be lost. Leaders told NTV that the prevalence rates have peaked sharply in the last 1 year, and this raises questions on the progress in the struggle for total elimination of HIV and AIDS in the area.
The prevalence rose from 2.3 to 4.9. So this is what scares. The fact that it's going upwards. It should have been either stagnant or it should have been coming down.
Dr. Patrick Nguzu, who is the district health officer, says the sharp rise is based on a combination of factors which range from cultural to economic practices.
We didn't know that actually men are also being paid for sex by women. Yeah. We found a big number of these boys, especially the ones who work in these bars, the ones who work in these restaurants and so on. They are being paid by some female patrons for sex, so to say.
But as it is in other parts of the country where pregnant mothers prefer traditional birth attendants instead of modern medical facilities, even here the situation is no different.
If your husband refuses totally, you cannot go there. You just remain at home. Now you go to the TBS doctors, doctors.
Others fear the position we use for delivering them at the facility, especially during delivery hours, the time. You know that in our culture, our private parts are not supposed to be seen anyhow. So at the facility, we have to lie these mothers and see the past and such that we can organize well for them.
Now, as they make efforts to scale down the prevalence rates in West Nile, the leaders, in conjunction with NGOs like Baylor Uganda, have embarked on using the locals to encourage expectant women to do antenatal checkups. Here they participate in a competition by answering questions related to prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. The competition lasted 2 weeks, taking answers from participants from the 8 districts, with the winner being crowned at the end.
Minicho oku Arua diki fe yini igwa lata vleri isuzuri manga ovu okupini okorietetaru eywa lata borsi.
What do you think will attract or motivate women in your community to go for antenatal care?
Weighing is also there. After weighing, history taking, they ask you whether your family is having diseases like TB.
We came up with the Pregnant Mothers Contest because we realized that we have a young population, and this contest would be a good platform for us to communicate and to send out the message on how we can eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV.
The district winners are expected to take a central role in sensitizing other women on the advantages of embracing antenatal care when pregnant. The winner of the competition was awarded 250,000 shillings.
The Uganda Prison Service says they're not to blame for the congestion in prisons. In an interview with NTV, the prisons boss says the criminal justice system takes too long to dispose of cases. He also says that this financial year, the salaries of prison warders will be increased. Maurice Ochol spent the day with Dr. Johnson Babashija, the Commissioner of Uganda Prisons, and now reports of a pilot method known as pre-bargaining by suspects that has helped in the disposal of a number of cases.
In every service in the world, one of the most crucial is the prisons. You just cannot have a society of do-gooders alone. Someone always gets it wrong. The prison service at Luzira, like many others, is a home to more prisoners than it can contain. The Uganda Prisons Commissioner says the congestion is a result of the slow criminal justice system.
You know, the criminal justice system is a chain. You start from the arresting officers to the investigating officers to the prosecutions, the director of public prosecutions, then to the courts, and then to us. Once this chain is not as efficient as the cases are coming in, then you have a backlog.
There are more people still attending to court than those already convicted, and this is mostly common at the urban centers. The numbers increase by the day, but the prison's boss says they are working with inmates. They have a new system, a pilot called pre-bargaining.
Pre-bargaining is whereby the suspects agrees to plead guilty, and therefore not wasting court's time and resources, and then for probably a lighter sentence than he would have got. For example, a case which would have made you to be sentenced to death, if you bargain, it can be reduced to, let's say, 30 or 40 years.
There have been many cases of prison breaks, Dr. Babashija says. The prison warders are much fewer than the inmates. It becomes hard to keep track.
And we have been having some escapes, there's no doubt about that. But these escapes have been attributed to two main reasons. One, our structures are beginning to feel the pressure of the number of suspects. And number two, we have been having a very low staff prisoner ratio.
Last week, the civil society made claims that Geoffrey Kazinda was not being held at Luzira. The prison's boss says Kazinda and actually Draru are both inmates at Luzira prison.
The day he didn't appear in court, he was not scheduled to be in court. They would have produced to us what we call a production warrant. Draru is very present. She's doing classes.
A few weeks ago, the Finance Ministry released the 2014-2015 budget.
But my orders will have to have a salary enhancement. This ceiling, which has been raised, will enable me to do some promotions, probably around October, November. So people might be able to eat Christmas with new ranks. This salary enhancement will make me able to pay the people whom I have been recruiting now, who are due to start in July, especially the warders, 1,000.
Dr. Biarashaja says Chigo Prison in Lueza will now be relocated to Kasange in Entebbe on 300 acres of land. He says no competent investor has yet been identified to take over the land on which the Luzira prisons lie. Maurice Ochol, NTV Weekend Edition.
Now, 6 students of a vocational school in Bushenyi have been admitted at Komboni Mission Hospital. The students were injured during a heavy storm that also left equipment worth millions of shillings damaged.
Nyamushundo Vocational Secondary School in Bitoma Sub-County Bushenyi District was severely affected by the storm. Not only were rooftops blown off, but students and teachers were injured as well. They were hit by falling debris.
Our head teacher, Mr. Natwela Justus, was badly hit. 2 members of staff were also hit by bricks. 6 students were dangerously hit by stones and bricks. They are now admitted at Komboni Hospital.
The brick hit me on the head and I fell down. When I tried to stand up, it hit me on the back. I again fall down.
The deputy head teacher of the school says the hailstorm also destroyed school and personal equipment worth millions of shillings.
So many property were damaged. One was desks where students were sitting, office, furniture.
The minister in charge of general duties, Professor Tersis Kawejer, who visited the school, lays the blame on school management for poorly planning and constructing.
There was no cement in the sand that was used to put up this building.
It's not just because the building was not well done. I think simply this is a disaster where government should come in as we mobilize the local effort to put back the school.
The Igara County Member of Parliament, Raphael Majezi, says the damage will be assessed and a report submitted to the government on the matter.
Moving on, a 70-year-old woman in Apache district is the talk of the town for having enrolled in primary 6 at a well-known school in the district. The elderly widow says she chose to go back to school to break the monotony of her life after her husband passed away. We have more in this report.
70-year-old Edina Aguti is a resident of Aduku in Apache district. She recently decided to go back to school.
Yes.
Her bold decision sets her apart from many people of her age.
Oh, you have come on food. Okay, you can get it. Thank you. Yes.
She was enrolled in primary 6 at Ikura Primary School, where she studies with pupils fit to be her grandchildren.
Fiscal fees in Uganda.
Fiscal futures.
Fiscal futures.
In Uganda.
In Uganda.
Elina is a widow who chose to go back to school because she was feeling lonely at home after her husband's death.
You know, in Uganda here nowadays, if you are not going to school, you cannot feel well. Sometimes if I want to go where some country outside, they can want you to speak in English.
Elena cannot wait to sit for her primary leaving examinations next year. Her dream is to continue to secondary school and complete her education.
If I pass PLE, I want to go to senior. But the bad thing I don't have money. But if somebody can sponsoring me, I can go ahead with my study.
Which country you know?
I know the mountain.
Mount Laiki?
But I cannot remember that one.
Any mountain in Uganda?
Elgon.
Mount Elgon.
We will take a short break, but this is just some of the stories that will be coming your way when we return. Still to come in personal finance, what you need to know before you embark on a collective savings scheme. And Ugandan lady weightlifters prep ahead of the Commonwealth Games in Scotland next month.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
Three great benefits in one value-packed solution. The Standard Chartered Salary Solution. An easy-go salary account with zero monthly ledger fees and zero fees for online banking. Get a salary overdraft with zero arrangement fees. And enjoy a personal loan with zero insurance fees. Remarkable, right? Get more out of your salary. Call 0800 160 160 or visit sc.com/UG for more details. Standard Chartered, here for good.
To survive the test of time, buildings need to be strong and able to withstand the forces of nature. Tiantang Group has introduced TTG TMT bars, hollow sections, MS plates, manufactured using top quality raw materials with the latest technology on Ugandan market. TTS bars are strong, weather resistant, 100% weldable, easy to bend at any angle, and are marked TTS, so look for the mark while buying.
Tiantang Group, quality steel, normal price.
With every game live and in HD, and 2 dedicated 24-hour channels, we'll make you feel like you're there. Because we are Brazil. The 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil starts 12 June live on SuperSport, your world of champions, on DSTV.
Subscribe for as low as 26,000 Uganda shillings per month or get fully installed for 279,000 Uganda shillings.
Sophie thought the house just needed to look a bit warmer, so... You don't need to explain. You just need to use the right paint. Some of the ones on the market cannot handle the weather. Help your walls withstand extreme weather conditions with WeatherGuard, only from Sadolin. You need to choose the right company. Sadolin! Sadolin, of course! Sadolin, color your world. Trusted and admired for generations.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
Welcome back. Now, police in the Kasangati neighborhood of Wakiso have arrested several young men for gambling and engaging in illegal activity. The officers carried out the sting operation in an area that's notorious for crime. We have a report.
Police in Kasangati raided the area's gambling spots to arrest youths who spend the entire day playing the game of chance. The gamblers fled the area in shock at seeing the men in police uniform. However, the police gave them a chase and were hot on their heels.
Bring your key. Hello, you bring your key.
The police confiscated motorbikes of some border riders who were gambling in a bid to track the suspects who evaded the arrest. Police and residents say that crime is on the rise in the area.
A primary 6 pupil in Kampala has been hospitalized after being severely beaten by a teacher. The 14-year-old was punched by a male teacher for reportedly referring to him as a madam. Shilandu Huchiri reports.
On a normal Sunday, this primary 6 pupil, who we will call Anita, would be doing chores and completing her homework in preparation for classes on Monday. But that is not possible now. The young girl was slapped and punched by one of her male teachers for reportedly addressing him as madam, a beating that has left her bedridden.
The teacher came in, asserting them, please keep quiet, giving them simple slaps on the shoulders here. Keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet, quiet. Then also Lila came in, and later he gave him a slap here. They say a simple slap on the cheek. Then the story ended there.
Yasoka basi mbisala yini nabaga mgenga mwe kubempi bwe muti. Kati yalanga beekubye katone kyavaamu n'atuuka ku munne woono omulala omulenzi mwana wa ssenga woono n'amugamba gwe ngenda kukuba oyo n'amukuba mbusimeyo vivi mu mugongo era enkeera waliwo abaana baga nti yasoma kati bwe yatuuka ku ono n'amugamba kola bw'oti n'amusulika bw'ati omutwe n'amukubamu ebikonde ebyo byonna abaana nga bye babitugamba.
Anita is now in pain and speaks with great difficulty. The teacher accused of beating her is called Bosanta Unia, a second-year university student who happens to be the son of the school's headmaster. Anita is said to have fainted after the beating. Her parents only learnt about it through her fellow pupils. They now fault the teachers for negligence. The girl was admitted at Nsambya Hospital for 2 days. Her condition, however, deteriorated after she got discharged and had to be taken to Mulago Hospital.
Ngenda okulaba sawa nga 12 awo kitundu ng'omwana atabusa ali bubi nnyo ali bubi atandise okwesikata kyasobola kunywera kaseke nga bwe mbadde muweerako ne banga amwereko ku jjiiko okumuweera ku jjiiko ng'amannyo geesibye.
The school administration maintains that the incident was an accident that could happen to anyone.
For us at the school administration, we take it as an accident. As I have told you, as also as you are going now outside, you can fall down, but you always fall down.
For now, the accused teacher has been suspended by management pending investigations. Anita's relatives registered a case of assault at Namasuba police post, but the family members say they are dissatisfied with the pace of the investigations.
Nali njagala bajjanjaba omwana ng'omwana oli omulenzi eyakuba omwana ono ng'ali munda.
The assistant superintendent of police at Namasuba police post could not give us a comment about the family's concerns when we approached him. The school administration has so far contributed 970,000 for Anita's hospital bills. The Ministry of Education and Sports banned corporal punishments 8 years ago. But reports from non-government organizations like Save the Children and AMPCAN show that Uganda still lags behind in addressing cases of corporal punishment. Their reports show that 84 school-going children out of every 100 have faced corporal punishments while at school. Shilandu Huchure, NTV Weekend Edition.
A very unfortunate incident there. Now, recent statistics from an international health journal show that 200 babies in Uganda die annually in their first 28 days of life. Medical experts say the deaths can be prevented if known, but unfortunately many mothers in the country do not receive skilled care. In this week's Health Focus, Florence Naluimba looks at what can be done to avert the neonatal deaths.
Health Focus is brought to you by Uganda National Health Consumers Organization and Voices for Health Rights.
Poverty-stricken areas, the absence of necessities like clothing, the basics really, are what may cause newborn babies' deaths.
We try to improvise. We may bring everything. Even this one can help. Yeah, this one.
With this material?
Yeah, so that the baby may get warm.
Clothing at Chankangu Health Center 4 is used in extreme situations. And these are constant. The clothing is always backed up by this warmer.
You may see the light, yeah? And the heat comes, yeah? Enough heat, not so much heat or less, yeah, that moderate, yeah? Then there is this one, but I have not yet used it because it was brought when there is no, power.
A lot is required in saving a newborn child, especially those who are born prematurely. Now at this center, they have most of the equipment. However, at the moment, they are not functioning. So how long have you gone without power?
I don't remember what they are about, but more than 6 months.
But this is not a deterrent.
I bring my lamp here, near the baby.
The one with kerosene?
Yeah.
After being warmed by the kerosene-powered lamp, the baby is given to the mother.
There I do what we call the kangaroo. Eh? I put the baby nearer to the mom, so that she or he may get the warmth. And there you create the bond.
The kangaroo, as you do, carries its baby very skin to skin.
Especially the premature, we use the kangaroo. Even we counsel them to use it at home, especially for those ones with the low birth weight.
She then breastfeeds her infant.
Breastfeeding has many advantages. First of all, it has the mother's antibodies, which are likely to protect the baby from infection. But nutritionally, it has all the values. And it's clean, and it doesn't need preparation. So it's there.
For emergency obstetric and neonatal care showed that some equipment, Mitiana and Lira, by the White Ribbon Alliance, which advocates for emergency obstetric and neonatal care, showed that some equipment to save the newborns was absent.
Resuscitation equipment, they did not have oxygen, because if a newborn is not breathing well, definitely they will need oxygen.
Some centers are lucky enough to have equipment like the bulb syringe or suction that aids unblocking the baby's airwaves.
You do like this? Whenever I do it, things are coming.
Dr. Fredra Sampija, Mitiana District's health officer, says that although there is care for the newborn child, it's rather average.
Last financial year, we had about 140 babies, neonatal death in the Mitiana District. Those who are recorded and known.
At Mitiana Hospital in May, 10 babies died. These are only the recorded deaths from the different health facilities. Others are not known.
Ideally, we would have loved to observe them for 24 hours or more. But because of the numbers per day, it is very hard to keep them around.
After recovery, we discharge them. They don't finish the recommended days for their monitoring on the ward. The more we keep, the more problems they get. When there's congestion, there's a lot of sepsis going around. So they are better off home.
At home, where no follow-up is done, several deaths go unreported. And these include the mothers who deliver at home.
The percentage of mothers who deliver in the hospital in Mitiana District facility is about 57%. So the other 40 plus, they deliver at home. So other neonatal deaths could take place at community level.
What brings on most deaths are the delays when a mother delivers from home. At Mitiana Hospital, the 3 babies who died, their mothers came with ruptured uteri, while another baby had suffered stress at birth.
We had 6 mothers who lost their babies in utero. In other words, the babies died when they were still in their womb, what we call macerated stillbirths.
Some hospitals have doctors but lack equipment, while some have equipment but no doctors.
Many doctors don't want to risk to take a patient to theatre if you know that the generator is going to fail, if you know the electricity is not very reliable.
According to the Lancet report, the progress in newborn survival and stillbirth is too slow. In the report, Uganda has 38,500 stillbirths and 34,600 children who die in the first week of life every year. This translates into 200 babies dying every day. Globally, about 2.9 million newborn babies die and 2.6 million babies are stillborn each year that passes. More than 75% of these occur in Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa.
They don't come for antenatal, or they come when it is, they are soon to deliver. That's why you find that because their problems are not found during antenatal.
And we also encourage them to come with their husbands. So that during that time, birth preparedness is done, and these mothers know where to deliver and what to expect and what items to be with.
The first day in a child's life is important. However, not enough is done to save 1 million babies around the world who die on their first day each year. The main causes of death in 2012 were preterm birth, asphyxia or suffocation, and infections like sepsis, meningitis, as well as pneumonia, all preventable by simple methods. If stillbirth and neonatal deaths are not given the delicate care they deserve, they will continue to contribute immensely to the under 5's mortality, which has been halved for most countries. Florence Nalimba, NTV Mityana District.
Health Focus is brought to you by Uganda National Health Consumers Organization and Voices for Health Rates.
Now on to matters personal finance. There are some who have saved as individuals and it has failed miserably for them. There are those who have now resorted to saving collectively. In this week's Personal Finance, we look at the basic things to take note of if you're to start group saving.
Personal Finance is brought to you by
Bank of Africa Mobile Wallet. Mobile banking like no other.
Personal Finance is brought to you by
Bank of Africa Mobile Wallet. Mobile banking like no other.
While trust and discipline underline group savings, the overriding rationale should be about the returns, and yes, they can be apparently good.
Savings as a group are highly recommended because of the ability to raise the required capital in a short time. When you're saving as a group, you could be saving 100,000 shillings and you're 10 people. Or in an instant, on a monthly, that's 1 million shillings. If you're saved for a year, that will be 12 million without the interest.
For groups to use their leverage, there have to be some degree of formalness, emphasizing why there must be a business-oriented approach to this interaction. It cannot be casual.
You need to come up with a constitution, which is properly a legal document that guides the operations of that. It stipulates who the signatories are to the account and what the responsibilities of each member, rights and obligations are for the group savings. So when we have that kind of governance system in place, it becomes believable that this group is indeed an entity that can enter into contractual agreements with banks and other entities for investment purposes.
Being legal has its own benefits, especially when you start to interface with financial institutions to tap into some of the savings, which means that the cash can't be kept below the bed.
If you have, for example, up to 1 million, then you'll be able to access 4 million shillings, which is very, very, very critical. Rather 4%. If you have 1 million shillings, you'll be able to access up to 4% interest. If you save for a year, and you'll be able to access a loan of up to 150% of your savings, which is something that is very, very critical in mobilizing funds. So you find that 12 months down the line, if you've saved 50 million as a group, you'll be able to access probably about 180 million, which is significant.
Take time to inquire in what you can invest once the monies have accumulated. As best as possible, avoid speculation.
It depends on your investment objectives, but what would really advise groups here is that investments have got to have a long-term aspect rather than speculative, because this is money that has been hard earned and would like to see it grow over time. So there are a number of investment opportunities that the groups could go into.
Some groups have even gone into agriculture, but for products they have researched on as having sure market.
Mobile banking has never been faster, easier, or more secure. Wow! Bank of Africa Mobile Wallet. Mobile banking like no other. Mobile banking has never been faster, easier, or more secure. Wow! Bank of Africa Mobile Wallet. Mobile banking like no other.
We take another short break now, but I'll be right back with the latest in NTV Weekend Sport.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
You know, the warmer it gets, the more I get washed. But I never lose my color.
And after you dry, don't you just love how you smell?
Of course. But you know, Nomi is always kind to clothes. Wash after wash, I feel as good as new.
The other day I got a stain from chocolate on my leg, but a quick soak and rub, and it was gone in a flash.
That's because of the after-acting stain removal enzymes.
Hey, Socks, you have turned green with envy.
Oh,
East Africa loves Nomi White Washing Powder from Mukwano. Stains lift fast, color never fades, and the fragrance is amazing.
You know, I still love hanging with you guys.
Nomi brings new life to your clothes with every wash.
Do you have a dream to win? Rico Paints brings you a chance to win great prizes and make Brazil 2014 World Cup memorable. Buy any Rico Paints product and get a voucher to predict the winner of this year's World Cup. Correct entries will be subjected to a draw and the winners will be awarded with brand new motorbikes, smartphones, home makeovers, gift hampers and lots of cash.
Rico Paints. Paint it, love it.
Call this the Skeleton Coast. It's meant as a warning, but we took it as a challenge. What better test for the all-new Ranger? Having enough grunt to get here is one thing. You also need the fuel economy to get back. Built for any challenge.
Stop tapping and start shaving. Introducing Gillette Blue 3. Its open blade, easy rinse design gives you cleaner blades for a smooth shave. No more tapping. Gillette Blue 3. Cleaner blades for a smooth shave. Gillette by P&G, everyday quality brands.
Welcome to NTV Weekend Sport. Lady weightlifters Becky Namusoke and Irene Prosinyanga have used Uganda Olympic Committee's commemoration of the World Olympic Day to gauge themselves and further polish their skills ahead of the Commonwealth Games in Scotland next month. UOC officials, though, look to making the annual event a countrywide activity whose climax marked as a grand finale in the rotational basis. Alfred Odong reports.
Uganda kick-started its participation in commemorating the World Olympic Day with a 6-kilometer run in Kampala. The annual event had elite weightlifting ladies going about their preparations for the Commonwealth Games that will be held in the Scottish city of Glasgow next month.
I want to do in snatch, I want to do 90 kilograms or more than that, and my target in clean and jerk is 120 kilograms.
I'm really happy because I wasn't expecting this. Because back then I was not feeling well, but when I started my warming up, my body gained, so I'm happy that I'm trying my best. And for now, I'm looking at Commonwealth Games. Yeah, right now that's what I'm hoping to do.
The competitions held at YMCA in Wandege had the Kampala Rebels beating Makere Horns by 16 points to 11 in the final of the wheelchair basketball. Athletes also took part in Ludo, Mweso and basketball. All participants were awarded certificates by officials who expressed their desire of overcoming financial challenges to improve on the international event.
Now, this Olympic Day we are celebrating is in commemoration of the transformation of the Olympic Games from the ancient to the modern, which was done way back in 1896 by Pierre Coubertin. So 23rd June, we're celebrating the day in advance because tomorrow is a Monday.
So we're trying to get members of the public to join in Sport for All, which is not elite or competitive. That's why some of us are taking part, but it's for fun and to enjoy sport and socialize and celebrate sports.
Uganda Olympic Committee took part in today's activities to mark the Olympic Day here at YMCA Wandegia. For youngsters, they are here to expose their talent and also ensure that they are picked by elite clubs. For elite athletes, they are preparing for the forthcoming Commonwealth in Scotland. Alfred Odong, NTV Weekend Sport.
On to volleyball. Vision Volleyball Club and Sport S Volleyball Club are the champions of this year's Nkumba Open Championship. VVC beat National League defending champions Ndeje by 3-1 to win the Women Championship. The champions had earlier ejected Sport S Volleyball Club by straight sets in the best-of-5 format of play. Runners-up Ndeje saw off hosts Nkumba in the semi-final with another straight sets victory. Sport S men won a time bird final by 2-1 against Sky Volleyball Club to dethrone hosts Nkumba. Over 30 teams including clubs, institutions and primary schools took part in the two-day event organized at Nkumba University campus. Uganda Volleyball Federation officials believe tournaments like these help them to nurture talent in the sport.
We benefit from these tournaments in that we have different teams that don't participate in the league that come and play in these competitions, and they are also not limited. Teams are not limited too much by the numbers as like in the league where you have 12 who have to play a match. Here you can register as many as 22 players, and you expose them and use them in different games, which you can't necessarily do in the league because the league is very competitive and there's very little margin of error for it.
Moving on, John Tumukunde and Sharif Bukanya are left with about slightly over an hour to enter the ring for a non-title 7-round bout in Masaka, with several undercard fights, all in a build-up to Continental World contests. Moses Golola and Titus Tugume made advances at each other and have verbally agreed to have a rematch soon. Tumukunde has fought 77 times more than Bukenya, with only 11 in both amateur and paid ranks. Tumukunde's vast experience, having fought in Europe and Asia, both in the military games engagements as well as the World Kickboxing Federation Global Championships, is tipped to emerge the winner. Bukenya will have to rely on his endurance and speed if he is to register victory over UPDF's John Tumukunde. The seven-round fight overcome will be graced by the national super middleweight champion Moses Golola, who almost exchanged punches with Titus Tugume. Tugume challenged Golola to accept his request for a rematch, a plea the reigning champion says he had no objection to. And that winds up NTV Weekend Sport tonight. And that brings tonight's newscast to a close. Thank you for joining me. I'm Rukshana Namwimba. I leave you with the moment of the day. Good night.
Oh, yes. Man, he is.
NTV, turning on your world.